Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. This is the Spicy Pecan Podcast.
Have you ever had a dream that you could do so you could.
Thank you for joining us on a brand new episode from the brand new season of Spicy Pecan Podcast. I am your host, as you know, Nina, and I want to give a very warm welcome to my spicy co-host, Liz.
Hello.
So Liz is brand new to the show, as you guys know, all the people who have been listening and watching. Liz, you want to tell just a little bit about yourself, and I'll tell them why I dragged you here.
I don't know why she dragged me here, but I'm 44-year-old mother of four. I work for the Board of Social Services, and I like to travel, I like to eat, I like to laugh. So I don't know.
Well, I dragged her here because she is being very modest. She is extremely intelligent and has the type of mind that you can really give her any scenario and she'll figure out a way to kind of relate to it, understand your point of view, understand the point of view of others. So I always feel like you always kind of come in with a very okay, let me kind of look at this from all angles before I give you advice. Do you feel like you kind of look at things like that?
I try my best anyway.
Yeah. And also, Liz, you did a show with us on the last season, earlier in the season, and it went so well. We got so much good feedback about you that I was like, oh yeah, this is a wrap. So Liz is actually going to be joining us for a couple of months over the spring, a little bit of the summer, and then hopefully we can get her back in the fall. She's got a bunch of summer plans, a lot of obligations, but I'm so excited to have her, when we do. So I'll just kind of, go into, kind of our warm welcome or whatever, and then next week we'll kind of have her, help me with that. So listen, guys, you know the drill. If you are listening to this on the pod directories, make sure you leave a review. That actually allows the directories to say, hey, check out this show. A bunch of people are talking about it. If you're listening or watching the show rather on YouTube, give a thumbs up. It's free. You don't gotta give no money. It don't take a whole lot of effort. Just make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe. If you have enjoyed the show in the past and you haven't gotten a chance, subscribe now so that you'll be notified of when shows come out. All right. So we actually started a brand new segment called Quote of the Week, and I will let Liz start. Liz, what is your quote this week?
Well, my quote of the week was, they said it was a challenge, but they haven't met me. And I like that quote. I don't know who's original person to say, but I just feel like I don't allow someone else's intimidation or insecurity stop me from pursuing my goals, and you all shouldn't either. And we should just face every challenge boldly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. My quote this week is, keep my wife's name out your goddamn mouth.
There you have it.
Don't come after anybody that I love, care about. I'm sorry, I'm coming for you. So we keeping that Will Smith energy all episode.
I'm with it.
So we got a bunch of current events happening this week. I will let you start. You actually have an international story that we should kind of be paying attention to.
I kind of like to stay informed of what's going on in the world around us, not just here in the States. I think it's important just to know, we're always told to, keep an eye on your surroundings, and other countries are our surroundings, and what happens there somehow eventually affects us. So I've been following this TikToker, and I don't remember her name. Maybe we can put it in later. Mm-hmm. She's an African-American woman who works in, she lives in China. I think she's a teacher. Well, she's been posting about the new lockdown in China. They've been in lockdown since April 1st. Their cases are rising. They were initially told they were going to be in quarantine for a couple of days, and then as you know, the more you test, the more positive cases you get. And so it went from being quarantined for a couple of days to a complete lockdown. The people have gone into facilities. If they're tested positive, they're being sent to facilities. Even people who are testing negative, if they live somewhere and someone in that building tests positive, they're also being sent to this facility forcefully. They're not going willingly. The food is scarce. The prices have gone high. And although it's not happening here, this happened back in 2019 when COVID, when they were calling it Corona, first came out. And it started in China. No one really cared. This is an isolated lockdown in Shanghai, China. So hopefully they nip it in the bud and they control it. But it's something that we need to be aware of. It's just something that we should be mindful of, because it happened back in 2019. No one was paying attention. Then it traveled to Europe and it went to Italy and crippled Italy. And then eventually it got to us. And by then we were unprepared because we thought it was a them problem. So just be mindful. And our shelves aren't looking too great right now either. And it's kind of just like, you really start to think like, what is going on? What is really going on? I feel like there's so much more than what we're being told.
What's your theory?
I feel like we're being conditioned to survive on less and to depend more on the government. Like farming industries, are going down. Food supplies, as I don't need to tell you all, you all go food shopping. There's barely any meats on the shelves, which is worrisome. I don't know. There's more to it than what we're being told. Just be mindful.
Yeah.
Be mindful of your surroundings. What's happening in other countries, it's gonna affect us. And as you have seen by going to the stores, prices are doubled and tripled, and the food is less and less. So what is really going on?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like on the flip side of that, I do kind of understand why a town in China would have such strict remedy in a way to this situation, just because of the amount of people that they have, how quickly we know that this spreads. And they've kind of already been here, done that, since they've really been on the forefront, which is a goddamn problem. Like, why does stuff always happen where you at? Why does it feel like you're the epicenter of a lot of this goings on?
Right. I don't know if it happened in Shanghai initially.
Right.
But it's in Shanghai now. And like you said, it could be that they're just, which I hope they nip it in the butt. But it's just something we need to be aware of.
Yeah, we do definitely need to be paying attention to that, because we didn't, like you said, we didn't pay attention the first time. They were the epicenter. That's where it started. Had we have been watching what they were doing, I think we could have saved a lot of time by not fighting about the masks and seeing, oh, these guys they went through SARS. They're still wearing masks. You know what I mean? Right. So, because in this country, people were fighting about just wearing masks, when that's really like one of the only protections that we have against it. Yeah. And so as much as we should watch, I just, people in this country, I feel like they're just gonna take everything and do their own thing. Yeah. But how do you feel about these people being shipped off to the facilities against their will?
I don't agree with that. If you're quarantined, you're quarantined. I feel like that's a violation of human rights. And I know China's different and they do things very different there. But even if you're positive, you shouldn't be forced to go somewhere. They're adults, and I'm sure they have their police but monitoring things in the streets and everything. They can't even walk their dogs. It's been
like, when your rights affect other people's rights, that's where we kind of have to look at it, where it's like, okay, while I understand that you should have the right to do whatever you want at whatever point, when it starts to harm someone, or when it has the potential to harm a group of people, now we have to look at you tapering back your rights. And this isn't something that is a permanent,
I don't know, because I let me tell you, I was like Houdini, and I escaped COVID for 2 years, and then January when it peaked and everyone got it and caught the wave. I caught COVID, and let me tell you, I stayed home and I did what I was supposed to do. I would have been so devastated if I would have been forced to go to a facility and leave my home and my children and not know how long I was going to be in that facility or what was going to happen to me in that facility. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's just scary because why are we forced to go to a facility? Like what is happening?
Because you can't really trust people to do the right thing. You can't trust that everyone's going to quarantine at home and not, interact with other people. You can't trust.
How would you feel? Okay, let's say you get tested positive. You haven't caught COVID, have you?
I'm sure I feel like I have. I've never tested well, let's say I've never tested positive. But I do believe that I've had it at least once. I think I might have had it twice.
Okay.
But what were you?
How would you have felt if you did go to a facility and you got the test and they were like, oh well, you know what? Now the health department is involved. We're shipping you to this facility. Pack your bags, and you're going off, and you're like,
Yeah. I would not enjoy that. I wouldn't like it. But at the same time, I get it. I do get it. It's like, we don't want people to commit crimes either, but we have prisons for that reason. Yeah. You can't just assume that someone is going to do the right thing. And also, your discomfort is a small sacrifice to pay for people's lives.
I'm so against it. I'm so against
I think in this country, I'm not for facilities. Like, I'm not saying, oh, we should have a bunch of facilities here. But I can understand why a government would say, you want to trust the people to do it?
Put me on house arrest. Give me a monitor or ankle
I would. Something.
Don't send me away. No.
And that could be an alternative.
Yeah.
That could totally be an alternative.
I wonder if it would be cheaper if instead of housing all these
equipment.
People.
Everyone would need some type of equipment. You now have to have people monitor this equipment, so those are extra bodies. It would be a whole new kind of.
I wouldn't even mind if there was like a solar panel thing attached to it. And I just had to stick my leg outside the thing. You know what I mean? I don't do anything just to be able to stay home and know that I'm safe away from whatever else is going on in those facilities.
Right. But on the flip side of that, are you going to go to the hospital if you feel like you're dying? Because that's a facility.
I would not.
You would never go to a hospital.
Had
you have been in your room quarantining and you stopped eating, you couldn't breathe, you wouldn't have called the ambulance?
I told my family, don't send me to the hospital. I feel like people who were going to the hospitals, maybe this is me being super uneducated. However, I feel like those that did go to the hospital that couldn't breathe, they didn't come back out. And there's a big story behind that as well. Like, they were put in an induced coma.
In the beginning.
And that was killing them. Putting them in induced coma, that was... Yeah. I feel like they had a better chance at home. I bought a nebulizer machine. I have, home remedies that I was doing. I was just like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'll drink Pedialyte and I'll use a nebulizer machine. And if I die at home, I die at home. And that's how I felt. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if it was the right thing, but...
I mean, I get that up to a certain point, because when you can't breathe, you're not just going to say, let me die here. You're not.
I'm sure there would come to be a survival thing that would kick in.
A survival thing would definitely kick in.
But if the nebulizer would have alleviated, if I was having breathing problems, and it would have alleviated some, because I watched...
Yeah, you would rock it out.
Well, what I did is, I like to look things up. I do. So I did the whole, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on people that were using the nebulizer who couldn't breathe, and it helped them. Right. So that's why I ordered the nebulizer machine. So I did my research before.
But remember, Liz, by the time you got it, there was research to have done.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the pandemic, doctors didn't know what to do. Nurses didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to do.
No, yeah.
So, yes.
But by the time
doctors and hospitals have definitely come forward and said that in the beginning, the way that they were putting a lot of people on these breathing machines, the way that they were handling COVID was not good.
Yeah.
But we did not have the information that we needed to do good.
Yeah.
And the reason why everything seems like, oh, well, why didn't y'all just do it the way? well, that's how we're doing it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know, and you know,
But
we
there
have
was
vaccines
also
and-
ways of massaging the back to open up the lungs, not sleeping. Like there was a lot of, like you said, after the fact. But
right.
by the time I got
And-
COVID, it was 2 years in, and I was just like, and when my mom caught COVID, I called my sisters, and I was just like, don't send mom to the hospital. Like, I have a nebulizer machine, and there's ways of opening her lungs and stuff like that. I didn't want them sending her to the hospital unless, like you said, like she really just, the oxygen was gone. Like,
Right.
of course, but.
And now there's a pill that you can take in the hospital while you are positive for COVID, which we did not have that extra layer when it first started. But yeah,
So here we are 2 years
very
later, we're still
interesting.
talking about this. So
and we're going to continue
Yeah.
to, because these pandemics, as we can see, the world is a lot smaller than we think that it is, and we are a lot more interconnected. So these topics and these issues should still continue to come up, because we do kind of have to figure out ways to protect each other and also not strip people of their, you know, all of their rights.
Yeah.
Okay, so from China to now Florida.
To Blac Chyna.
Listen, and that's this is just such a reminder. I mean, China definitely rocks a lot differently, but leaders, our political leaders are they just hold so much power. The fact that the Shanghai whomever, whatever they're called over there, said shut them down.
Yeah.
Same thing that happens here, only it's our fault because we are voting these people in.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point out a story of what's happening. Ron DeSantis has basically put the gloves down on Disney, one of the biggest companies in the world. So Ron DeSantis on Friday signed a bill stripping Disney World of its status as an independent special district, fulfilling his request to punish the Disney company for its stance on social and education issues, one of which being the Don't Say Gay bill, which we just kind of updated ourselves on what actually meant. There's so many things that happen now in, in government. I feel like government ran a lot more slow than I feel like it's running now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff to keep up with. But so we did do a little research about that. But if you don't know what the Don't Say Gay bill, it essentially Ron DeSantis released a bill that will go active July 1 that says that elementary school children, I believe it was like kindergarten age, the teachers are not allowed to say anything that has to do with sexual identity or gender identity. Which can be difficult if you're being asked a question or if you are trying to encourage tolerance. So a lot of people didn't like that bill, but that was just one of the reasons why he's going after Disney. Here's the thing. Disney pays primarily all of the taxes for the two counties that they surround in.
Right.
So he's going after Disney now, basically taking away their power to have their own cops and, have their own zoning and all of that. And this is going to have a huge effect to the residents. And it's almost like he's not thinking this through. Like, first of all,
Running with his ego.
His ego. What do you think about a politician basically having a vendetta against a corporation, and now it's playing out with our tax dollars?
Right.
And
I think he's, like I said, he's running with his ego, and you have to separate the two. You have to deal with them on a, you can't allow your personal feelings on what you're trying to push, allow you to dictate how you handle a entity like Disney, obviously. And also, like you said, it'll affect the residents.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the residents. I think it's Orlando and Kissimmee, actually.
It's the counties. It's Osceola County and
Osceola?
Orange County.
Oh,
So Disney, no, you're right. Those are probably in the counties.
Okay.
Those are probably
Probably.
cities in the county. But it gave actually. I'm trying to find how big Disney actually is. I know that they pay nearly $53 million in taxes a year, but Disney is acres. Okay.
How many? How much in taxes?
53 million.
And now the residents are supposed to pick up that tab. He's not thinking. And you have there's a huge retirement community in Florida. A lot of people just go to Florida to retire, And so they're fixed incomes, and now they have to cough up extra money monthly. So that's a big thing.
And then all the people that Disney employs, you take away these special permissions, does that mean that the business model has to change? This is the way that Disney's been operating since they opened, 1967.
Yeah. I don't know.
They had this special permission.
This is very powerful, and I'm sure they're going to lawyer up and fight this.
Yeah.
So.
The balls.
Yeah.
To go up against Disney?
I know.
But Disney is 25,000 acres, nearly 40 square feet, right in the middle of Central Florida. So this is definitely going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I think that this is one of the bigger reasons why I pointed out this particular story is because, I mean, I've said so many times, I can't stand Democrats or Republicans, but Republicans are out of control with the bills that they are trying to pass in this country. Literally, like, pushing us all backwards as a culture.
Yeah.
You know, if a teacher or this education issue could have been handled in a lot better of a way than this is basically a vendetta playing out. You know what I'm saying?
Within the schools?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to have specific language, like these are the things that you can say and can't say, because
I feel like you have to
cartoons.
You have to be careful though, because children are impressionable, especially in elementary school age group. I believe he's mentioned kindergarten to the 3rd grade. So you don't want to sexualize anything for them at that age.
But that's my problem. Being gay, lesbian, LGBTQ is not sexualized. It's only sexualized by straight people because that's all you see it as.
But
they see it as sex.
My thing is they shouldn't speak about straight heterosexual or gay sex. Like, it shouldn't be sexualized. If you're gonna talk about accepting a boy who wants to dress as a girl and make sure that, you know, so that those children are protected, have that conversation. But we don't have to discuss the sexuality of it. You know what I mean? Don't sexualize it. It's okay to be a boy and wear a dress to school. If they want to talk about I feel as though it's how you're presenting it, in a sense. As long as it's not, when my children were in elementary, I didn't want no one speaking to them about anything that was sexual, whether it was heterosexual or from the gay community, because they don't need to be overwhelmed with that. Let them feel their feelings on their own. I remember when I was a child, and my favorite artist was Boy George. Mm-hmm. And he wore the makeup and the jewelry and all that, and I loved him. And he was a boy that wore makeup and jewelry. And I never thought about his sexual orientation. Didn't think of it. But I also, at that age, probably wouldn't have wanted someone to tell me, well, he kisses boys and he likes, but I was too young for that.
Right.
I just liked him for who he was.
Just saying that someone is gay, or saying the word gay, or saying the word lesbian, or identifying what this person is, it's not sexualizing it. Like you said, you like Boy George. You didn't have no idea what Boy George was doing. Nobody was saying anything about sex. And I highly doubt by someone saying that, yeah, that's little Jerome's 2 daddies, they're gay. He's not thinking about them having sex. You are.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this. This is where this is one of the big issues that it stops the understanding, because straight people, when they think about gay, when they think about lesbian, your mind automatically goes to the sex, like the sex part of that relationship. But relationships are so much more than that. And you can talk about being gay without ever having mentioned sex.
But I wonder, and I agree with you. I do. I'm just trying to see maybe how he's thinking it. Because remember what you said earlier. If you bring it up, then you would have to answer other questions that come after that. And maybe and I'm not justifying it, but I'm just trying to figure out this is how he's thinking. If you bring up the word gay and the child says, well, what is gay and what does it entail? Now you have to go further and explain, and maybe that's what he's trying to avoid, that conversation.
But sex can literally never even be mentioned in that
Right.
entire conversation. And you know, this is just one of the things that we have to work out as a people, because this is an international issue. People sexualize the gay thing. Gay people are not, just by us existing, we don't breed sex. We don't.
Like, I want sex today.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
But we are so sexualized because that's all people see. That's
Yeah.
all people think about.
That's
As
what
soon as
you're right.
That's it.
That's how
I
what it's
remember
rated, so.
when I came out. I don't ever remember having this exact issue like within my friend circle. But when I first came out, some of the stories that I would hear is, oh, well, they don't want so-and-so to be at the wedding because they're gay. Or they don't want so-and-so to babysit the kids because they're gay. They don't want and it's because like, oh, well, I just don't want that around the kids. But it's a reality of life. There are gay people. And just like anything else, just like you're not going to explain electricity in full, you know, with the kindergartner, there are pieces of electricity that you can start to make them understand so that when they do go out in the world, we're making it a bigger thing than it is.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. There have always been gay people.
They're super simple.
They don't care.
Yeah.
We adults care. Adults are, oh my God, my kids are going to be
like
talking
that.
about sex.
I was like that.
Listen,
I have to admit.
And guess what? The thing is that you can't hide your kids from everything. And the more information you actually give them, the better equipped to real life they are. You know, I don't think that it like ruins the innocence or anything like that. Kids are kids. We think about it too much.
I feel like when it comes to what is his
Ron DeSantis.
DeSantis, I feel like he's seeing it one-sided. I don't think he's thinking it through. And like I said, I wonder if he's just thinking, if you mention the word gay, it leads to more, because he's oblivious to the fact of what you just said, that just being gay doesn't mean that, you know, it's about sex. It's more than sex. And you are right, when a heterosexual hears someone's gay, the first thing that comes to mind, oh, she likes to have sex, or he likes to have sex with the same sex. So I get it. I think he's thinking one-sided. If it is going to be introduced into schools, I think it should be more targeted so that the children who are gay and who are transgender,
I mean,
can
I
be
don't know
protected.
that they wouldn't even know at that
I think
age.
no, kids are bullied.
Kindergarten?
Absolutely.
I don't know. No, I mean, I don't know if. Oh yeah, true.
I remember my
That's
kids
true.
in
That's
daycare
true.
getting
Yeah.
bullied. In
Yeah.
daycare, kids are reckless. You know.
So that's another reason why this should
Right.
be actually spoken about on some level at that age. It should, you know, it should be something where you get the 0.5 version, obviously not the full version.
I feel
but
like it should start from home too. Like, we can't
Yes.
put everything on to the officials, you know, the teachers and all that. We as parents have to take responsibility of what our kids are learning and how they're learning it, and teach them to just respect people, all people.
Yeah.
And so if we do that at home, it doesn't matter if they're being taught in the schools, we should take responsibility on how our children are being educated.
And also,
when it comes to regards to stuff like that.
you liked Boy George, but you are straight.
Yeah, it didn't change.
So that's another reason
Yeah.
why, you know, I think this is an important story, because listen, if you have never heard it before, I don't care if you put your child in a room full of all gay people. It does not mean that that child is gay, going to be gay, going to ever be interested in being gay. They may have a bunch of gay friends growing up, but you cannot manipulate someone's sexuality. You can't. You can expose people to transgender, I'm either going to like it or not like it. Now, that doesn't mean that experimentation won't happen. Experimentation may happen, but I guarantee you a lot more of these straight dudes have experimented throughout their lives than they will be comfortable to say, because we've created so many barriers around it. So what I'm saying is, simply being LGBTQ is not a sexual thing. And also, you cannot make somebody gay I've been trying to make myself, or not anymore, but I tried to make myself straight for years.
I remember you telling me this when you were younger. Like
for
you used to pray.
I used to pray about it. I became promiscuous behind it. Just trying to do anything to not be gay. I did not want that to be my thing. Yeah. So, you know, that was a really good story to kind of talk about.
Yeah. And it's good to talk about it and normalize difference.
And that's the thing. It's the spreading of colonialization, is that what it's called? The spreading of white supremacy is why we have that gay and this and that. Yeah. It's the spreading of that idea throughout the world, because if you look prior to that, there was always 2 spirits, there was 3 genders. You can look at cave drawings, actual cave drawings in different places of the world, and you will see that men have always been interested in men. Women have always been interested in women. No, it's not everybody. It's not ever going to be everybody, but it's never not been there. Right. It's always been there.
Agree.
So from Florida back to China, but this time we're talking about Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna, oh my gosh. All right, what do you know about Blac Chyna?
Well,
do you know anything about her?
We know I know Blac Chyna back from Tiger days, you know, like she was the hottie on the rapper's arm, and then Kylie was with Tiger, and then Blac Chyna pulled out, you know, the tricks out the hat and got a baby from one of the Kardashians, and we were all like cheering it on.
Listen, so she's taking the Kardashians to court. The reason for her and Rob had a show. They would have, they were greenlit for a season 2. But she's saying that the Kardashians stopped that season 2 from happening, even though it was already greenlit. And she's also accusing them of stopping a bunch of other bags of hers. So she's taking them to court for taking money away from her. Now, what I remember, and I'm going to mention this because it's something that Chris said. What I remember about that show, did you ever watch the show?
I did. I watched it.
She beat the shit out of Rob's ass like several times on that show.
And she even broke like TVs and...
I mean, she was out of control, wild on that show, right? Great television, but you ain't gonna be doing that to my goddamn brother, my son.
No.
I'll stop every bag you ever even thought you were gonna have. You gonna... So Chris in court makes a statement that Blac Chyna actually pulled a gun out on Rob.
Yeah, I heard that.
And now she's saying that that was a joke. When is pulling a gun out on someone ever a joke?
Yeah, you're not pulling a gun out on my child.
No!
And we're not going to hee-hee-ha
and then be surprised that I ripped your goddamn show away from you on a network where I am in cheese?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, do you think that, Tokyo Toni, the mom.
Tokyo. We love Tokyo.
She's been doing these, she's not allowed in the courtroom anymore, but she's been doing these like behind the scenes lives.
I haven't seen any of them.
Please watch one. She is so funny.
Terrible.
Like, I don't know how these two have not just gotten their own shows. I know they do something on Zeus. I know Blac Chyna had a show on Zeus. But
did she?
Mm-hmm. Zeus Network is it's like a
Kardashians must not have control over that.
No, it's an all black,
all her bags.
Yeah, Zeus Network is a brand new network. It's been out for maybe like 3-4 years. It's black owned, and a lot of the producers, directors, nearly everyone is black. So that's where she got her show, and that's where Jocelyn's Cabaret is on, and that's where they brought the Bad Girls Club back. Now they're calling it Baddies.
Okay. To check the channel out.
The network definitely does really good.
Yeah.
But so she was saying that they were staring at her from the peripheral vision. Yeah. It was just so funny. If you haven't seen her little behind the scenes of what's happening in the courtroom, you definitely have to watch it. But do you feel bad for Blac Chyna? Or do you feel like the Jenners were in the right? Like, how do you feel?
I don't feel bad for none of that. Those are rich people problems. I can't even relate. However, Blac Chyna's Blac Chyna. She can make her money. You know what I'm saying? she knows how to make her money and get
But
her
what if
bag.
they're-
But
Mhm.
no, I don't feel bad because, like you said, she had that show because of the Kardashians at the end of the day. So if you're riding off of someone else's success, you either line up and
Play the game.
Right, do what you need to do, fake it till you make it, or you're gonna get pulled. Like, you're on that show because of the Kardashians. You're not gonna beat my child. You're not gonna pull a gun out on him and act a complete fool and put him through it and humiliate him, and then still think that we're gonna fund you.
Yeah, and remember also, Kim had a very real hostage situation.
Yeah.
As like, I think they said 2 months before the gun was pulled out on Rob as a joke, that was when Kim had her hostage situation. Now, regardless of how you feel about these people, they are people. And
Absolutely,
the mom
yeah.
is a real mom. Tell me which mom ain't gonna go hard for her kids. I mean, sometimes the stuff that people say about this woman is ridiculous.
I
It's
call
like,
myself
she's a
momager.
mom.
She's killing it. She really, say what you want about them, but they don't have talent. To me, making millions and billions, that takes talent.
That takes a lot of talent,
So,
especially
say what you want.
a lot of people can do it, but to maintain it through so
Absolutely.
many years, like how many families have had reality TV shows
Since
that we don't hear about
2007.
anymore?
It's been like since 2007.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
which is
15
crazy.
years.
Yeah.
15 years.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Listen,
So no, Blac Chyna, you need to find your avenues elsewhere. You need to make your bag elsewhere. You're not making your bag off my son.
yeah. And
You
this
know?
has always been the case in Hollywood, in the music business, in every business.
Well,
you piss one mogul off, and it's going to affect your career. That's life.
They get black labeled.
Yeah.
But also, abuse against men is so downplayed. Unfortunately, he's a man. He could take a hit. No.
But let him pop her upside her damn head, and then
everyone's
he's the
losing
bad
it.
guy.
No, so I
Right.
think men, physical abuse, domestic violence against men is a real thing, and it's starting. It's kind of like their Me Too movement too, because now you have the Johnny Depp coming out, and we're seeing the real deal with that in the Kardashian, Rob Kardashian. So it's not funny and it's not cool. And
No, keep your
domestic
hands
violence
to
on
your
either side
damn
is
self.
good. Absolutely.
Keep your hands to
And if you can't,
yourself.
You're gonna make your bag somewhere else.
Yeah, especially in anger.
Yeah.
We play fighting, we wrestling around, having fun. That's nothing.
I don't even like that.
I'm not a big fan of that either.
And I teach my kids my daughters, they're all adults and they have boyfriends, whatever. Don't play fight because it always leads to someone's gonna get offended, someone's gonna get hurt. So don't even play that way. But
I mean,
I've
never
it
been a
in
fan.
anger,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. So make sure you check out the behind the scenes of Tokyo Tony smoking her weed and giving us the rundown of what's happening in court. Hopefully, she can get her ass back in there.
I'm gonna see if I can grab an episode and watch
Yes.
ratchetness in my life.
But speaking of weed, you actually had a story that kind of blew me away.
We're back in Florida with this story. I'm pretty
Isn't
sure
it
you all
always?
heard about it. It's the Florida woman for her wedding. She came up with this idea to have the caterer of the wedding lace the food with marijuana. And I don't know if it was edibles. I'm not sure how it was infused into the food or into the desserts. However, her guest at the wedding, at the reception, started feeling ill, and they were rushing to the hospital. One lady texted her husband and was like, "I'm in the car just in case I die in here. I don't know what's going on with me." A few of the people were tested at the hospital, and it turned out that they were
High.
They were high. And so the lady was arrested, so was her caterer, and now they're looking up to like 5 years in prison.
I mean, listen.
What they thought was a joke, like, you don't play that way.
No, you cannot. That's definitely taking it way too far. You do not give anyone any type of alcohol, controlled substance, anything that's going to alter me.
Absolutely.
You let me goddamn know. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You don't know what my plans are after this. You don't know if I'm allergic to something. You don't know
Absolutely.
if I smoked weed in the past and it makes me paranoid as hell. Like, that is not a funny
Yeah.
joke at all. That can go so
that's
bad.
why I don't smoke weed. Everyone's like, oh, and to each his own. I
Right.
don't care who smokes weed, But I don't, because I get paranoid. I'm super aware of my surroundings. I don't like it. So if I go somewhere and I eat something and I get high, it's gonna be a problem. I don't find that funny.
Yeah, I don't find it funny. I think
it's
5
funny
years.
How insane her mentality. Like,
Plus, it's kind of funny how these people were like, "We're ill, we're sick," and all this stuff. And really, at the end of the day, they're literally.
But then
just
they know
high.
what's going on with them. And then when you're high, you're
yeah, but I will
high.
note, no one in the history of humanity has ever had an overdose from weed. So while they might have thought they were sick at the time, they were skitzing. Yeah, they were skitzing. You can't give people stuff, even something like weed, to people without them knowing. Like, that is just wild.
Without their consent. So now her and the caterer, like, what?
The caterer, I feel like probably didn't even really know what the real situation was. Maybe
she might be able to get out of that because she was being paid.
I mean,
to make the edibles, and maybe she assumed that the guest knew. Oh, she might have a fighting chance, but the bride, she's looking at fines and prison
5
time.
years is absolutely ridiculous for that offense. 5 years. I would say a good 3 days, and I highly doubt you're ever going to do it again. And also remember, you're still subject to any lawsuit. So
yeah,
this is the problem.
Yeah.
Why are we always trying to send people to prison? What the hell is that supposed to do? What does that actually do? What happens after? Like, I just don't get it. Other than the person being more jaded than they ever were, having now a jacket and all this other stuff to deal with.
She should have to do community service or something.
Community service. She didn't kill nobody, and there was no threat of anyone dying.
But again, like you said, you don't know if anyone was allergic to something. You don't know how it could have. So that
it
is
was
a serious
wrong.
thing. Don't do it.
But jail we gotta stop making jail the remedy to every damn thing that you do.
Yeah.
Traffic stuff. You should never even step foot in a jail for a traffic.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have 20 tickets. What does that have to do with
unless it's a DUI? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
You know.
I've gotten a DUI myself.
And someone dies.
I had a DUI myself, and I absolutely agree with how they have it set up. Your first offense, you're not going to do any jail time. Your second offense, and it just starts to go up. Yeah. Now, if someone is injured, you got into with the cop, like, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But just in and of itself, being pulled over and intoxicated.
But unpaid parking tickets, come on.
Everything that we can imagine here, the remedy is damn jail.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what does that do? How does that benefit society? Unless the person cannot be in public with people because they're a murderer, they're a pedophile, they rape, they kill. But that was a good story though.
What's going on, Florida?
Oh my God, Florida. Listen, they're not. Florida and Texas, I would never live there.
Neither would I.
Y'all can keep those states. The politics is just too much for me. What's going on in the shows? To give you an idea, the shows that we are going to cover on a weekly basis, and we just kind of want to follow along with you guys. 90 Day Fiancé, Married at First Sight, and we need your help in letting us know. We need another show.
Yeah, pick a show for us.
Yeah, let us know what you're watching. But 90 Day Fiancé, did you get a chance to watch?
I watched the season. I watched the finales, so it's all wrapped up. It's
that was a good reunion.
The reunion was good. The season was I like just watching. They're hilarious. They go through so many different obstacles and so many.
Kimberly
Usman. Says it in his name.
He's a weirdo. He's gotta stop that Soldier Boy shit. There's already a Soldier Boy.
Kimberly. I was talking to someone about her, and everyone feels like she's such a victim, and oh, poor Kim, she's such a good person, and she doesn't. No. She's a grown woman. You know what you're doing. You're buying his love.
Yep.
And not that he's a victim, because I feel like
they're both playing a game. They're playing opposite ends of a game.
He doesn't even like her physically. Doesn't want to touch her, like kiss her or anything. Like she says, "I love you." He's like, "Okay." Like, doesn't return, the response. I don't know.
The one thing that I can at least appreciate about him is that he treats her well. Like when they're in the same room, that could go so many different ways. If you're not attracted to somebody, sometimes you can't help but be rude.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Like, especially if someone's hitting on you and they want that type of attention from you, and there's no way in your mind you can get yourself there. Like, there's no way that I'm ever going to be attracted to you. That can turn very nasty.
But also, he's being manipulated with money and PS5s and chains, and I believe she sends him money every month. So it's a job.
Yeah,
and he's performing well.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey,
and even when he slept in the bed with her, he put like those pillows. You guys remember? He put the pillows, and he was like, "You stay on your side, I'll stay on my side." And
yeah, I don't feel bad for her.
I don't feel bad for anyone.
Mike.
I don't feel bad for any of them. If you're for Mike either, with Jimena, because he's buying her love. If you want to buy someone's love, you better expect to be rejected and denied of love and all that other stuff, because they're not in it for any of that. They're in it for what you can provide for them.
And also, you got to be responsible for the type of energy and the type of promises you're bringing in when you start dating someone. Keep that same energy throughout the whole thing. You trying to act like you Big Daddy Kane and you got the money for this and you can get her a job there and you can do all this.
Yeah.
Keep the same energy throughout and won't want to hear nothing about somebody taking advantage of you. That was a part of your intro swag. Yeah. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm with you. It could be your eyes are blue, this and that, and you pay my bills.
Right.
And for somebody else, it would be because of this, this, and that.
Right, like,
but that's what you came in with.
This is what you get with
Don't
me.
try to,
These are the things that you know.
Exactly. They're trying to play both sides and get the sympathy. It's not going to happen. We see through y'all. What about Married at First Sight is coming back tonight, I believe.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, I have to watch it. I haven't watched the last couple of seasons. But which one do you watch?
Well, I did actually start watching Australia, which is out now. It is wild. Right now, they've gone through the weddings. And I believe they're starting the honeymoon. So we haven't really hit many roadblocks. It's so wild
that I wonder if it's scripted. Because it's that wild. Like, is this really happening? Are you guys all mingling? Like, have you seen what they
I think they do it. That's why the Married at First Sight it's like formatted that way now, where everybody kind of lives in the same houses and stuff. That's how Australia had already done it.
Yeah.
So there is more commingling of the cast than we've been exposed to in the beginning seasons.
Yeah.
Like, in the beginning seasons, none of these people knew each other. And then slowly you'll see them like out together once. And then they started doing dinners and like certain things or double dates and things like that. But now they live together in the same building. It's a lot more commingling. There are a lot more gatherings. So that part is a part of the show now.
Would you marry at first sight?
I would.
Would you?
I would do a Married at First Sight situation. I applied for Married at First Sight.
No, I was gonna say you should apply.
Married at First Sight came to Philadelphia. And
I remember that.
And I applied along with two other girls. We all kind of did like a dare, and we all applied to it. The thing is Married at First Sight doesn't marry gay people in the United States. They do it in the Australia show, but I don't think there is a gay couple on the Australia show yet.
Interesting.
Or on this season. But that is the only franchise that I've ever seen a gay couple on. They don't do it in the States. So, and also we learned a whole bunch of things about the process afterwards.
That's so interesting.
One of the only things I remember is that they said most people are rejected because they test positive for herpes. That is the biggest reason why most people are rejected on reality shows, in general, but specifically that one.
Really?
Yeah, because when I didn't believe it. So I Googled it, and I think somebody had said the same thing about Real World, herpes.
Wow. That's interesting.
It gives me comfort to know that they're even testing for those things.
Would you do 90 Day Fiancé?
No. 90 Day Fiancé is where you have someone abroad and probably
Would you date someone abroad?
Probably not.
Why?
I just feel like long distance relationships are hard even when you're in the States, and I've had many, and they're just difficult. I feel like you know, you're opting into potential problems.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was dating someone for a year in Italy, and
Tell me more.
It was right before COVID hit, and so I had to learn how to speak Italian to communicate
That
with
is
him.
wild.
So I learned Italian, and
so you speak Italian.
I can speak Italian.
That's
People from
pretty
Italy will be like,
impressive.
look, no, I you know, I'm learning it. I can probably get by
That is
without,
really
you know,
impressive.
someone in Italy taking me around. I'm probably losing it a little bit because I went from speaking to him hours on end every day for a year to now, you know, so I try to study and watch shows and stuff like that. But yes, but you know, we have real feelings for each other. We were, at the time, at that period, we were both going through separations, and it was new to us. So we had each other to lean on for comfort. And then COVID hit, and then, you know, it's not like he could have gone out. It was in Italy, so he was really on lockdown.
They were devastated for a while.
And then it got hard because you love this person, you have feelings for this person, but you can't be with that person. And because of COVID, he couldn't come here, and I couldn't go to him. And it just really put a strain. And we both just came to the realization that, you know, we're better off as friends, and we still love and respect each other and happy for each other's new endeavors and relationships and all that. But yeah.
Wow.
I actually thought about going on the show.
Wow.
I did. My daughter's like, you should go on 90 Day Fiancé, Mom. And I was like, but you know.
I mean, well, you're in a relationship now, but I guess if the opportunity presented itself ever, I mean, I've had problems dating bitches in Baltimore. I'm in Jersey. Like, y'all talking about Italy. I'll be like, what the hell you doing?
I don't know.
I'm not even a jealous person. I'm really not. I feel like you could totally get away with a lot of shit with me just because by the time I notice, you better not even try to deny it because, like, it's real.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But do you think I should apply again? Are they taking gay people? What's up?
TLC,
What's happening this spring and summer, all my lesbian people? Like, where are we at?
She's single.
Tap me in. I mean, I feel like I've kind of just, actually, let me share this with you guys. I recently got a reading yesterday.
Oh, really?
Shout out to Truth Tarot 444 on YouTube. She goes by Truth Tarot, obviously. But her email is truthtarot444@gmail. You can request a reading and stuff like that. I actually got a reading on sales. 1 question for a 3-card spread.
Nice.
And I asked, because this has been coming up in the last couple of weeks with people in my life asking me, like, yo, are you dating? Like, what's going on? Because usually you kind of got something going on.
Right.
My reading said that in my life, being in a relationship is not an accomplishment for me. And that right now, if I focus on being in a relationship, I'm going to lose focus on things that are happening in my career and finance sector. So that actually gave me a lot of relief because, you know, obviously just talking to people, sometimes people's, you know, they don't have any negative intention at all. But sometimes people's questions and, you know, the way they go about it can kind of make you feel like, oh, is that a problem? Like, so I kind of started to feel, I started to feel like, damn, why don't I? Because I think I've said to you, like, yo, I have no desire. Sometimes, like, I'll have someone that, you know, we'll kind of hit it off a little bit, and I'll kind of just back out of the date. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? Why do I have no desire? So that actually gave me a lot of relief to know that, I guess intuitively, maybe I just know that right now is the season to focus on, like, I've been wanting to buy a house. You know, there are certain things happening in my career. Yeah. There are contracting positions that, you know, have been coming up. So that, you know, that actually helped me a bit.
Well, relationships are a lot of work. Right.
That's what it said. I was naturally going to be distracted.
Building a foundation on your career and your goals, to add on a relationship to that, something's going to fall behind. Something's gonna be left behind because you have this person pulling on you. You have your career. You have all these goals. So start off your career and your goals. Get that up and running, and then once you're stable and you're smooth sailing, and then maybe
that's what she said. She said it's coming. She said it is a relationship. Yeah. Someone is coming. But right now, I just need to stay locked in on what I'm working on as far as career and finances, which is the house. And there are some career things.
Where are they coming from? Are you coming from the Caribbean? Or are you coming from Europe?
Where are you coming from? Oh my God, I would love to date somebody from the Caribbean. Actually, one of my exes was Jamaican. That was an experience. It was great. It was a good experience and a crazy experience at the same time. But I like.
Yeah, I feel like people are like, oh, I'm against long distance. Just do it for once. Like, what else are you doing? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just live life. Like, that's all I have to say. Some people are like, oh, you're crazy. I don't care. Yeah. If it's something that I'm interested in or something new that I want to venture in, I'm going to do it. Because why not?
Hey.
Don't limit yourself.
And you know what? I think this week we should skip our regular topic and save it for next week. We've been talking for a little bit. We're going to actually release this episode before the season was technically supposed. So this is a bonus episode that you're getting just to kind of start to get comfortable with the new format and things like that. But what do you think about that?
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So I'm with that plan. Liz, would you like to, kick us out of here, do our outro?
Yes, and well, there you have it. Another one in the bag. Thank you, Pecans, for joining us. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend that you think would enjoy it. And stay blessed and spicy.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Spicy Pecan Podcast.